There's a storm across the valley. The clouds are rolling in. The afternoon is heavy on your shoulders. There's a truck out on the 4-lane, a mile or more away. The whining of his wheels just makes it colder.
Welcome to Community Forum. My name is Priscilla Almquist-Olsen, your host. Today is December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, and it is also a day when we're going to learn about the Abeo Quartet and one of its sterling members, violinist Angioma Brevius, and her mother, Yvonne Brooks. Now, Angioma is in Delaware at the University of Delaware, and she's a freshman, and her mother is in DC. So we are doing this via Zoom. And to my left is Rita Corey, who is the director of music at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Northeastern. And today we're going to talk about a very important and special concert coming up on December 16th at 7 p.m. at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church, 143 Lincoln Street, Northeastern. I hope those of you who are listening will be encouraged by this brilliant violinist and happy person who is joining us today from Delaware. And you will be encouraged by her to come to the concert and hear these outstanding students of music. Okay, so tell me a little bit first, Rita, tell me how this all happened.
Well, last summer, I found out that Angioma's quartet was coming up to Rhode Island to give a concert at someone's home. And so I said, oh, would you please come to our church and give a concert for the benefit of Rose Conservatory, which is in Brockton at Christ Congregational Church. It's a new after-school program that's about 1.25 years old. And our church is helping them by contributing every time we sing a spiritual. And so we thought, well, it would be wonderful to have a quartet play because the children are just learning how to play violin this year. So Angioma asked her quartet and they said yes. And I was so pleased that I could hear them in person without having to go to Delaware or wherever.
Now, Rita, you go way back with this young violinist, don't you?
Yes, I do.
How far?
Maybe she was 4 or 5, and she had 2 older siblings who also played violin and cello, her sister and brother. And so I became friends with the family because she took they all took piano lessons with Maya Gorovich in Stoughton. And that's where my son also took lessons.
Okay, so, and now, let's see, you're not a freshman, are you?
No,
I'm actually not. I'm a first-year grad student.
Oh boy, that's right, because I was just remembering that you're 23.
Yes.
Second year grad student.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
So welcome to you, Angioma. So tell me, how did you get started in the world of music, and especially focusing on the violin?
Well, thank you so much for having me and my mom. We're so grateful to be here and so grateful for Rita and our relationship with her. I started playing the violin when I was around 4 years old. I actually started on the piano. My mom decided that the 3 of us, my 2 older siblings and I, should definitely start on instruments when we were young, as music has so many benefits to so many other parts of our lives, including mathematics, which is definitely a comparison that's been drawn. And I just remember taking lessons with Maya Gorovich, but also after a little bit, my sister had started playing the violin, and she was a part of the Project Step training program in the basement of Symphony Hall. And I just remember feeling really jealous that she got to play like the most beautiful instrument on the planet. And I'm not exactly sure how it went from there, but I probably said something to the effect of, "Mom, can I play that too?" And it's all history from there.
Okay, and you have progressed so that you are absolutely a stunning performer. I've heard you several times at our church. I'm a member of Holy Trinity Lutheran also, and Rita is our director of music. She brought you to special services that we had during the year, and people were just amazed that and you were 8, 10, 12, I don't know, you were young.
Mhm.
And so it was wonderful, and we were just amazed and astonished at the ability that you have. And now you are in grad school and you are a member of the Obeo quartet. Tell me, Yvonne, Mother Yvonne, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Mama. Now tell me, are you the reason this young woman is so talented, right? You got her started, and why did you encourage all of your children to be musical?
I think Ngioma said it. I thought that it was important that music be a part of their lives, as she said, for not just the joy and pleasure that it can bring, but also as a skill to learn and how impactful it can be in all areas of one's life, discipline, academics, and all of the above. And
But
yeah. Mhm.
oh, I was going to say it, but and more specifically, why did you choose a string instrument, the violin and the cello?
Well, actually, it was piano at first, and as Njoma said, my eldest daughter started on violin, and that happened because a friend said that there was a program in Boston that was aiming to increase, in the long term, minority, especially Black and Latino representation at the highest levels of classical music. And that was music to my ears. And so when I found out about this program, being not of a lot of money, I said, let's see about this. And so I called right away, probably that same day. And the next day, my eldest daughter was invited to audition, and she was accepted into the program. And so really, I didn't necessarily choose the violin. I think the violin chose our family.
Interesting. Yes. Well, it's for all of our benefit. Isn't that right, Rita?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so tell me how the Abeo Quartet originated in Gioma.
Sure. So my quartet originated in around May of 2018. We were made up of 4 Juilliard students, and I think we were all sophomores at that point. And we just absolutely loved playing with each other, and we wanted to start a group. And just 2 years ago, we reformed with Rebecca Benjamin and Brian Gadbo, and James Pang and I are the original members, and we're just continuing that love and that passion for chamber music, and continuing to concertize and study here with the Calidor Quartet, and it's just been a huge joy.
So tell me, what are your favorite composers? Or who are your favorite composers? Let's put it that way.
That's a great question. One of my favorites to answer. It changes from season to season, and a lot of it is based on the repertoire that I'm playing. But I would say a constant for me recently has been Mendelssohn. We just performed, not just, but we were performing at the Banff International String Quartet competition in August, and our romantic round was the Mendelssohn String Quartet Opus 13, number 2 in A minor. And I think that Mendelssohn just has this beautiful way of expressing all of his emotions in the music. And the most incredible thing is that a lot of his famous works were written when he was under 20 years old. So that makes it even cooler.
My goodness. So that's a bit of a moment of identity you had with Mendelssohn. Isn't it? So, Yvonne, it must be an incredible joy for you to listen to your children perform at such high levels with such passion and joy. What's that like as a mother?
Oh, oh, it's just wonderful. I mean, it's so rewarding. You feel a tremendous amount of pride. I feel happiness for my children, although my eldest children do not perform professionally. It's Ngioma who's decided to make that her career path. But I'm very happy for her because she's happy and finding joy. So it's just a mix of pride and joy. And I would also say too, I think for me, because there is such a lack of African American musicians performing in the major orchestras and string quartets in the world, really, well, it's in the United States in particular. There's also that amount of, I would say, comfort or drive. I'm not sure exactly the right word, that Ngioma is helping to continue to break barriers in that regard. So all of those things, I feel.
Yeah, and all of those things make you feel very proud, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's nothing sweeter for a mother to see her children succeed in what they love.
That's the truth. That's
Isn't it?
absolutely the truth.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely the truth.
Are you going to be able to be present at the Abeo Quartet concert on 16th of December?
Oh, I wouldn't miss it. I mean, first of all, Rita is an angel, as you might know, and a dear friend. And I think the Abeo quartets and really our families, I think she's probably our #1 groupie, if I can say that. So, so if she is organizing, an event like this to support a program that as I mentioned, would just on principle be near and dear to me, because without Project STEP, right, it would have been much more difficult for me and folks like Rita and Windsor Music to have been able to finance the music education that my own children got. So to be there in support of Rita and her effort, and support of the effort to help the Rose Academy is a tremendous pleasure. Because I think the other feeling that I have, you asked me about this, is one of gratitude, right? I'm very grateful for all the people that have come through our lives to help in this mission. And one way to show your gratitude is to be there in support of other folks. So,
yes, absolutely. Yeah. And the Rose Conservatory is mainly, I would say 90% Black and Latino children from the Brockton, from Brockton, Mass. And this concert will be a fundraiser for them. And we recently learned that they need a bus because Brockton has curtailed their transportation for the children. The children were dropped off at the church after school, and they're not providing that anymore. So very urgent that they need a bus to continue this very important program. Yeah. And Greg Fernandez is the creator and founder and master of all music. And we are the beneficiaries of that. Now, the students of the Rose Conservatory are going to be playing, I believe. Is that right, Rita?
Yes, they're going to be singing and playing.
Okay.
I think 3 short songs.
In the beginning, right?
Yes.
Yeah, to introduce them. So we're hoping for a big turnout, and everybody is so looking forward to the Abeo Quartet. And so tell me, Ngioma, what is your vision for the future?
That's a great question. I think I can answer that question in 2 or 3-fold. I think that primarily, and given the reason that we're doing this concert, my vision for the future is that, as my mom has been hoping for ever since my siblings and I started on string instruments, is that the number of African American and Latino musicians on the stages of the big symphony halls will continue to increase. That's something that I really believe in, and not just in the orchestras, but in the chamber music scene, on the solo touring scene, and all of that. I think that's extremely important. Also, actually, not even necessarily on just the performing side, also in administration. I think that all of those things together are absolutely vital. So that's something that I really see, that I see as part of my vision for the future. And the other part of that, the other fold of that vision is that I will continue to work with my quartet and work as hard as I possibly can so that there are musicians that are younger than me, like the students at the Rose Conservatory, that can look up to somebody who is just doing her best and working her hardest. And and of course, I'm so lucky to have had an amazing village. My mother, I have so much to be grateful for to her. To Rita, my mom mentioned that she was an angel, and it's absolutely true. I'm so grateful for those two, and to Project Step, and to Windsor Music, and the countless organizations that have been there to back me up. And I just want to keep reaching for those stars so that other people can find inspiration.
Wonderful. And so, and what's your vision for you personally?
A great question. So for me personally, my vision is that I will be a professional string quartet musician, and right now that's what my quartet and I are working towards, in being here at the University of Delaware and studying with Calidor, and applying for new programs starting next year, and continuing to concertize and just continue this amazing life in music.
Do you see yourself as playing in a symphony orchestra in the future?
I would absolutely love to play in a symphony orchestra. And I think what's so great about having a life in music is that you can do so many different things. And it's almost, I feel like, especially after the pandemic, it's almost like you sort of have to. And also to keep yourself never complacent, just to be involved in so many different things, in teaching, in orchestral playing, in chamber music, in community outreach, and all of those things.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of your very positive and outgoing attitude has contributed to your success as a musician, because you're not, you probably never got discouraged. You just saw your potential as viewed by your mother. She's their biggest fan, I'm sure. She's your cheerleader. And we're going to be there for you too. So thank you so much for sharing your story. And Rita, you want to say a few words about Abeo Quartet?
Sure. I went to New York to hear them play at Juilliard, to a chamber music concert. That was wonderful. I went to the Kennedy Center in Washington to hear them dedicate a new building, a new inaugural part of the Kennedy Center, and they played there, and I was there for that. I haven't heard the new Abeo since they've been in Delaware, so I'm really eager to hear them. Of course, I've heard their recordings since they came to Delaware, but I haven't heard them live, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then Joma has been part of orchestras before. She was one of the youngest students admitted to the Ben Zanders Boston Philharmonic Youth Orchestra. She played in it for 6 years, from 7th grade to 12th grade. She's played in orchestras all over the place. She just was in London. She won a competition, and so she played with the London Philharmonic on several concerts, and just returned a week or so ago. She's played with the Orpheus Chamber Orchestra, and will play with them again. So she's a very well-rounded musician, I would say.
My goodness, what a outstanding record that you have made for yourself, Ngioma. It's not many young people who can talk about being at the Kennedy Center or at the Juilliard? I mean, you spent how many years at Juilliard?
I was there for 4 years in my undergrad.
How wonderful. Yeah, what an experience. And so those of you who are viewing this and listening to us, remember that you're going to have a very special treat on December 16th. The quality of this quartet is so superior and so incredibly inviting and engaging that you're going to be spellbound, I'm sure, and enjoy. And here we are in the middle of the holiday season, and what a wonderful moment to moments to spend an evening at 7 o'clock at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church to witness and to experience the joy of this wonderful quartet and its music. So, any parting words, Angioma?
I just want to extend that invitation again to please join us. My quartet and I are so excited to be able to share our music.
And Joma, can you say what pieces you're going to play?
Sure. So we are going to play Beethoven Opus 18, number 5, in A major. We are also going to play a movement from Billy Child's 2012 string quartet number 2 called Awakening. And we'll also play the Mozart Dissonance Quartet.
Sounds wonderful.
Yes, and go ahead.
Sorry, and holiday selections.
Wonderful. And so for the listening audience and the viewing audience, there is no entrance fee, but donations are accepted and appreciated to support the Rose Conservatory and its mission to create musicians, African-American children, Latino children, so that Nijoma's vision for the future will include those children across the spectrum of the musical scene. So, Yvonne, any parting words?
Yes, I do. Really relates to what you just spoke about. When you mentioned that the Rose Academy needs a bus to help transport the children from their schools, as a mom who spent countless hours driving my children to lessons in the Stoughton Sharon area and then into Boston weekly, I was fortunate. I was able to do that for my children, but not every parent is able to do that. Two-parent working families, families that have little to spare in terms of money and time. This is really a call to action for everyone to help. I think the other thing I want to say to this is when I was calling the local schools to ask them to share this concert with their students who were studying classical music, do you know what I learned? When I called Brockton High School, much to my surprise, and maybe I shouldn't have been, I was told they have no orchestra at the high school.
Wow.
There is no orchestral program at the high school. And it struck me just how important, even more than I thought before, the Rose Academy is. Can you imagine? That's what Brockton has. And so I think it's important for all of us to want to support them. And I appreciate Rita and you and Holy Trinity for sponsoring this event. And I do hope people will come and support.
Yes, thank you so much. Beautiful words, well spoken. And we need to remember that. And I'm shocked too. I was part of, I was 8 years old in the basement of the Northeastern Grammar School, and Robert King, who was the director of music for the Eastern schools, gave me a little violin. And I was one of 6 to 8 children, and we had free lessons. He taught us how to play, and he was thinking about his junior high orchestra and his senior high orchestra.
Wow.
He was building his orchestra with us as 8-year-olds. And so I ended up being concert mistress in my high school orchestra.
That's special.
And we have a wonderful Michael Korn, who is manages the high school orchestra here in Easton, is a incredible violinist himself, absolutely superb and magnificent. I've heard him play many times too. So Easton, here we are bordering Brockton, and
Yes.
Easton has a rich musical
Wow.
program,
Yeah.
a jazz band, a marching band, a show choir, a chorus. I mean, you name it. We've got
Wow.
more musical opportunities for children. And here there's a desert next door. So we
Yeah.
hope to change that at Holy Trinity Lutheran. So we invite everybody to come December 16th, 7 p.m., Holy Trinity Lutheran Church on Lincoln Street. Donations are accepted. So thank you. Thank you, Yvonne. Mama
Thank you.
Yvonne.
Thank you. Thank you. And Rita.
You're welcome. And there's a very nice reception afterwards too.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. There is a wonderful reception. And Joe Lundgren, who is our extraordinary, what do we call her? Baker and
Oh, great.
extraordinaire. She's going to have all kinds of magnificent food that will just blow you away, really. Very professional, really exquisite. So if the music and the quality of the food, both high quality, so please come.
Mhm.
Okay, and thanks, Rita, so much for coming and
You're
introducing
welcome.
your favorite student, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Okay, thanks again. All the
Thanks.
best. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So remember, everybody out there, December 16th, 7 p.m. The doors open 6:30 probably, and free will offering is accepted. Bring your children, especially your children, so they can be inspired and see what can happen when a 4-year-old starts to play the piano and then picks up the violin. Please come. Thank you so much. This is Priscilla Almquist-Olsen, wishing all of you well in this holiday season. And until we meet again, be well.